rap news, street politics. It's the best hood channel on YouTube. And now we the best hood page on Instagram. And we back with another report card for the streets. This time, we got all the G homies from different sets across LA, kind of spreading a different message for the youth in their section. And we got G homies that's messing up. We got G homies that are bad representatives for the young dudes that are choosing to get involved with the streets and the sets that these dudes are from. Now, just like other lists, man, we going off reputation, impact, and activity, and they set. Most of these guys have done a bid. Some of them are going to go do bids. And we're going to touch on all of that and how they bubbled up to be the older homies in the set in the city of LA, man.
And I just saw Rap News and Street Politics doing their Crip report card. And so I know what grade you guys got, even though you all don't know.
As long as I better have a C.
Now let's jump right into it, man. First on the list, we got Cartoon 5-3 from 5 Trey Avalon, Gangsta Crew. Now 5 Trey, man, we didn't been through these dudes so many times. Probably the most active side of the Avalons. Every day, these dudes is gonna be on 51st. Every day, they gonna be at South Park. This section is very active, and the Avalons are known to put in major work. But Cartoon, he is known to the streets, to the YouTube community, and to this new entertainment world as a G homie from 5 Trey Avalon. And indeed, man, this is true. Cartoon is a very recognized and reputable member from his set. Even though he lives out of town, I think he's staying like Alabama. Cartoon is easily become the face of the Avalons for the public.
My little homie a bigger than you, so yeah, but he ain't making my name. I'm saying, you call your food, call me out. You want to get out with me? Come drop the location and we will show up, bro. You my little homie. Nigga, you my little homie too. I am.
And the key thing that y'all gotta know, man, when you live out of state and you from a set, when you able to come back like Cartoon is able to, like we've seen him do so many times, get the respect from the homies, big homies and little homies, and niggas from other hoods. That says a lot about your character, about your game banging, about the work that's been put in under your name. You know what I'm saying? And we see Cartoon gets nothing but the most respect from his homies. But also, man, a key thing, Cartoon, man, even though he stay out of town, he is still willing to be about that business, man. It's very clear that Cartoon is still standing on full business with his set. And with that being said, one could say he is still active in his set. And we seen him recently go over there after 600 went over there. And he came in politic with his homies. I seen some niggas said he had DP somebody. I don't know about all that. We seen him having conversations with his homie. He forewarned his homies about certain things that could transpire, letting other motherfuckers into the hood. Again, he's doing all of this out of town. So we can say Cartoon has a good amount of influence being from 5 Trey. And that's what the fuck we want to see from an OG. We want to see a nigga that stays solid through what y'all call the heyday of gang banging. We want to see a nigga that has influence over the set. Big homies and little homies. He don't necessarily have to be a shot caller, but when you have influence, you can call shots. That's why we had to start this list off with Cartoon, man. He's an excellent representation, and we got a lot of excellent representation on this list. Again, we got some dudes that's fucking up. But starting this list off with Cartoon 5-3, man. Now, we done seen Cartoon deal with a lot of people as of lately in regards to his set. Again, one notable person we seen that he said he ain't had no beef with is 600. He's also dealt with G-Face. You know, these is two unfavorable characters. We touched on both of them, did videos on both of them. Paperwork is out on one, paperwork pending on another. He doesn't necessarily align himself with these niggas, and I'm sure he didn't know about the paperwork that was on G-Face. The same with Baby Shooter, who's also from his hood. But since then, we've seen him speak on shit like that, take a step back, so to speak, from 600, And overall, he just plays a even field with this shit. And that's what we want to see, man. He's also an enjoyable personality to watch on YouTube. Y'all go check his page out. And he's a positive addition to the streets of LA, man. Cartoon got an A. That's how we coming with this shit. Now, the next G homie we got on the list is a dude that's been a factor in LA for a very long time, man. This dude has a major name, especially on the west side. We got Big U, neighborhood rolling 60 Crip.
I'm looking at him on death row, and then the homies is mad about him saying gangster, and then Broomfield and them is mad, and so it was just a lot of, anger amongst the homies. And then Corrupt is like, well, my big brother's Big U. And I'm like, well, stall the kid out. And it kind of went from there. But I always say Corrupt is the hardest dude from the hood because he branded the hood when he wasn't even with the hood. And that was hard. And he traveled the country and took it where nobody else had ever took it.
Now, I got a lot of respect for Big U, man. Like I said in the video a while ago that we did on a situation that Big U was surrounded with Nipsey, I came up with Big U's oldest son, man. So I know the cloth that the Henleys is cut from for real. And it's not on bullshit. Now, I know a lot of motherfuckers lately, man, it's one person for real, man, that's really putting this narrative out saying Big U got paperwork. And we know who that is, man. That's 600. This dude is on straight bullshit.
Listen, man, I don't think y'all know this, bro. If anybody got anything to say about the big homie, cuz I'm on him. Like I told y'all before.
You better start acting like that.
Anybody got anything to say about the big homie, I'm on him.
You better start acting like that.
And anybody that's pushing that narrative with him is on bunk as well, man. That nigga's a fugitive right now. Y'all niggas aiding and abetting that nigga. A whole bitch on the run. Can't come back to his hood. Stop playing them games, 600, man. We ain't seen no paperwork on Big U. Everybody know, man, Big U has been a factor in the 60s. He's still good in his hood. And we've heard countless stories from countless people from different hoods say Big U was standing on business behind those walls. There ain't no smut on his name about telling, none of that shit. Like we spoke about in the beginning, Big U is in one of them positions, like a lot of G homies is, to perform interventions in the hood. Community interventions, like activists. You know what I'm saying? I know 600 was talking about some niggas is telling on people, and that nigga ain't putting in enough work to even talk about motherfuckers, man. I'm not even gonna get on that, but Big U is somebody who has been a straight up factor for the neighborhood car. We seen him kind of involved in that Nipsey situation, and we seen Loose Cannon or whoever, say the things that he said, and when we did our video, there was allegations of certain things surrounding that Nipsey situation, but it seemed like Loose Cannon said he had the full drop on it. But nonetheless, we see Nipsey still got a lot of love in his hood. Throughout the whole city, so does Big U. Nobody has turned their back on him or shunned him. Whatever problems he had with Nipsey family, that's what it is. But again, we just seen him recently in his hood when Spider Luck pulled up over there looking for 600 to catch the fade. We seen Big U politicking with his homies. Big U has a strong voice in the 60s hood, along with other G homies, along with other reputables from over there. But Big U is somebody that's gonna stick out as somebody that has major influence for the neighborhood 60s. We seen another nigga, Eddie Boy, talking about that shit, but he don't seem to be good. He talking about he don't even go to the hood no more. So what I see, man, it's a lot of people that be trying to throw shots at Big U, but they never seem to land. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we see the impact and the influence over there. We've all heard about the stories of his activities, how he's kept it solid. And he still got a lot of love in the city, man. So we got to give Big U an A for this shit. He's a big homie that's pushing positivity. He's pushing peace in the neighborhood. We don't see him necessarily crashing out. He seemingly will take these fades, though. And we've also seen him put niggas in check when they need to be put in check. Big U is a solid representation for all the Crips in the city. Now, the next older homie we got on the list is going to be somebody that's kind of infamous right now for the situation that they in. We got Keefe D, Southside Compton Crip.
I'm not gonna go into details on that one. Keep it streets on me. I ain't gonna go into detail on that.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and read from the book.
Well,
so
let them buy the book then.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna read this passage. The shit was on. Tupac made an erratic move and began to reach down beneath his seat. It was the first and only time in my life that I could relate to the police command, keep your hands where I could see them. Instead, Pac pulled out a strap, and that's when the fireworks started. One of my guys from the backseat grabbed the Glock and started busting back. The first shot, skin shook in the head, and I thought that motherfucker was dead.
Now, man, Keefe D has been circulating for a long time through the airways with the same story. We know him for one thing. He's been talking about this shit for a long time. The murder of Tupac. Now, Keefe D, man, it's quite apparent that the nigga was putting in work back then. You know what I'm saying? When in the 90s, he was moving around the streets doing this shit, selling dope, whatever the case is, man. But whatever reputation he built for himself in the streets has all gone to shit at this moment. It seems like Keefe D got older, the money started to dry out, and this nigga start fucking telling. Now, not only did he tell on his nephew, Baby Lane, and his other deceased co-defendants, but the nigga also was telling on his fucking self about the murder of Tupac. Now, I ain't even gotta say allegedly, because the nigga already done told. They said the nigga done wrote a book about how he was in the whip with his homies from Southside, and he was there when they whacked Tupac. Not only that, this nigga done went on Vlad TV multiple times, went on a press run, thinking he was kind of exonerated from being prosecuted for this murder. Clearly, that's not the fucking case. What this nigga was trying to do was sell this story. He trying to sell the hit that they did back in like 96 on Tupac. And this shit then came back and bit him in his ass, man. Now, we have some people who say whether you telling on the nigga, whether he alive or dead, is snitching. Now, we got other people that clearly feel different about that. We've seen this multiple times where a nigga will speak on a nigga that's dead and speak on the work that they put in or whatever to try to be the case for themselves. Y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think about that. Do y'all think snitching on the dead is snitching? Or is it cool to be the case? You know, y'all let us know what y'all think about in the comments about that shit. But this is where Keefe D started. But he wasn't realizing that he was implicating himself in a murder. That he was admitting to being in a vehicle that slid on somebody, resulting in a death. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. But this is horrible representation, man. As a big homie, as a G homie, who's probably seen so much in the streets, so many niggas go down, so many niggas die over all kind of shit. This is what he decides to do 50, 60 years old. This is not what the G homie is here to do. There's no way he can rightfully lead anybody from anywhere with actions like this. And this is why he's in the situation he's in today. This shit ugly. Now, you know, one thing he's not doing, and he may do it to try to beat this case, is point the finger at Diddy. I mean, this shit already sunk. And since the day Tupac died, niggas was trying to string the ties between these niggas from Southside and Diddy. So far, P. Diddy's the only nigga that Keefe D ain't snitched on yet. But man, we got a long way to go in both them niggas' cases. I mean, shit, Keefe D done told on everybody else. Why the fuck wouldn't he tell on Diddy at this point? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that. Now, the key thing here is him being from Southside, it didn't necessarily have to have ties with Diddy for him to do that shit to Tupac. Southside's a Compton Crip gang. Tupac was rolling with some Compton Pyrus from Mob. So at that time, I'm sure it was all on site between both their hoods. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't need Diddy to have a reason to put that work in on some niggas from Mob. You know what I'm saying? So those are just allegations that have been circulating throughout the nation about Diddy having a correlation with Keefe D. But all that's to be seen. But still, for this shit right here, Keefe D got a fucking F for snitching, telling on himself and his dead co-defendants. This is not what we want to see from them older members from any hood. Now, next on the list, man, we got another dude from Compton. This time we're going to hit the other side, man. We're going to Mob James from Mob Piru, man, Compton.
After my brother was killed, and then, all the way up until now, even with my podcast, I don't speak on these cats. So this paper, oh yeah, he did it, and then the shit he was saying, it kind of pissed me off, but then I said, I got too much to lose, you know what I'm saying, Vlad, to put myself out there for something I know that's not me. You know what I'm saying? At that time of 2000, he's saying, I did him like this. I ain't been to prison since 1988.
Now, we seen Mob James resurface to tell his story about his time with Death Row, with Alex Alonso, Reggie Wright, Bomb First. He went on a whole press run a few years back about his time with Suge Knight and him being from the mob. How Tupac was claiming the mob, and how it didn't sit right with him that them niggas from Death Row kind of inducted Tupac into the mob. Similar to how, when we touched on the first part of the Bloods, Chris Brown, Soulja Boy, out of town niggas joining these Piru hoods. This the same shit they did with Tupac. Tupac just had a different type of personality, went head first in this shit, and left out in the bag. It's simple as that. He got involved in some shit that he shouldn't have been involved with. But the hood that he was involved with, Mob James is from.
Who is you, homie?
Nigga, I'm Tiny Dank, nigga.
Okay, well, go ask your big homie Dang, homie, about me, homie. You know what time it is, nigga. You know me, nigga.
I know what's up.
All right, then, homie. So how you gonna tell me who ratted on me, homie? Knock it off. Look, I don't argue with me, and I ain't gonna do all that. But at the same time, homie, I know who I did 10 years for, dog. You know what I mean? And if any, I'll be in Bompton. So me and you could talk on another level. But at the same time, homie, the shit is authentic. Don't try to defend that nigga, homie.
I'm not questioning none of the paperwork, my nigga. That ain't what I'm saying.
All right, well, check this out. But look, check this out. Like I say, I'm not going to argue. I came on here just to let people know that it's authentic. You know what I mean? They'll be hearing from me again, and I'm going to leave it at that, homie.
Hey,
I appreciate y'all.
Trey, this is Dave from Lou. Hey, let's leave this alone. Y'all just leave this alone.
And when you around a snitch or a rat, when you finally get from around that motherfucker, man, it just feels so nasty and disgusting that you was even around that motherfucker. You never know what a motherfucker might do or what he was on or what may come back to bite you in the ass just because you was around this nigga. I'm sure that's how Reggie Wright and Alex feel right now. They had a whole federal informant on the podcast, sitting right next to him, watching every fucking move. This is exactly how Baby Shooter feel, how G Uno feel, everybody that was around G-Face. This shit feel nasty as fuck, I'm already knowing. This is what FG was portraying when he spoke on Mob James being a rat. Now, of course, Mob James denied this shit. But hey, it was a lot of shit going on in Compton in the 80s and the 90s. We just touched on Keefe D. It was a Suge Knight. It's hella shit going on. Compton was hot as fuck. Frankly, it still is. But man, at that time, Compton was hot as fuck. A lot of dope was being sold. And yeah, he said, I don't fuck with the hood no more, whatever. Yeah, nigga, fuck all that. Your name's still Mob James. I wonder why he don't fuck with his homies no more, because he can't. He's in no position to lead nobody. He's a federal informant. This is not what the older homie's supposed to be doing, man. Especially somebody that has a platform to have influence, like Mob James does, because of his background. I think he may have got bitter, man, when his brother got killed. He spoke on that, about how Death Row was to blame about his brother getting killed. I think that made him bitter for the streets, and he went over into this side of life. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know the case, but again, this is not it. The older homies telling, snitching, sending niggas to prison. This is what niggas mean to all the young niggas when they say, don't join this shit. Don't come out here into these streets, man. It's niggas like this that they talking about. Older niggas, you know what I'm saying? Who knows how old he was when he sent FG to prison. But just imagine the young niggas that jumped off the porch looking up to him as a big homie. This nigga working with them people the whole time. That's what the fuck you gotta be careful from, these young niggas. Any of you young niggas listen to this shit. Young niggas, keep y'all eyes open, man. There's some older niggas out there that's gonna steer you wrong. They may put them things in your hand, ill-advised. They may send you off on the missions, send you off to the stove, do all this weird shit. Them the niggas you gotta watch out for, man. Mob James got a fucking F. Inexcusable. It's nasty, disgusting. Now the next G homie on the list, man, is, man, in our time, in this generation right here, this may be a G homie that has made the most impactful move in the city that we've seen since the 92 Peace Treaty. We got Lil Doc from that 6-pack neighborhood East Coast Crip.
That's where we at with it. And that's what the homies were saying, like, okay, Doc, you did that with the Mexicans. See, a lot of the G homies telling me, I don't push forward since I've been from, banging East Coast. I ain't never just done nothing before getting at my G homies. I got, Bobo, his word is good. And the homies was like, all my G homie was like, go ahead and do it. Do it then, Doc. So I went to the homies from Six Dudes, C-Bone, and went to, every number, getting at the homies, seeing how they feel about it, the G homies. And they was like, do it.
No resistance.
No, they was like, go ahead, do it. And then
no resistance from the old heads.
No.
What about the ranking?
Now, man, we got to give Lil Doc his props. Lil Doc came together with a lot of his homies, brought the Florencias and the East Coast Crips together to end the war. And it's like some revolutionary shit. Hey, this is history. Lil Doc played a crucial part in doing this shit for the city and uniting the Crips, black people, period, with the Hispanic gangs, man. It's a big step. Everybody knows that the Hispanic community and the black community on the streets, not talking about prison, on the streets, man, it's been an up and down thing. There's some black gangs that get along with Hispanic gangs. A lot of them don't. It's still a lot of shit to get fixed in the city, but this was one of the most deadliest, dangerous wars in the city between the East Coast Crips and Florencia. All sides of Florencia and all sides of East Coast. Now, East Coast, we saying Doc from the 6-pack, but he had influence over the 6-pack, 8 9s, 9 7s, 7 6, 11 8, whatever it is, 190. Doc's voice was heard by not only his homies, but the Florencias, man, the Huntington Park, Florence Firestone Florencias. They put down the guns against each other, man. And I'm telling you, for the people that stay in the city, everybody knows, even today, this is major. Both of these hoods have a lot of structure. When we touched on the East Coast, East Side, South Central video, we told y'all, man, the East Coast is real unity with Crippin'. And Lil Doc showed that unity when he made this move to clean this shit up. Now, with Lil Doc's story, man, we see a dude that kind of has always had influence in this section. He's always been a rider. Man, the work that Lil Doc has put in, it doesn't have to be spoke on. But as he bubbled up into an overall factor, the OG homie, the big homie from East Coast, we seen him make changes and, and lead his homies in the right way. And he's helped save lives, man. And you can't overlook that shit. And I say that because Lil Doc is currently fighting for his life right now. He got sentenced to an extremely long bid. I'm sure he's working on appeals. But he went down for a murder of one of his rivals, a member from Hoover. And Doc has spoke on when he gets behind them walls, and he from the old school, he straps himself up with a weapon. And we heard not too long ago, when he first went in for this recent bid, he put in some work with the weapon behind the walls. So Lil Doc is extremely active, man. Regardless of his age, Lil Doc is active. But man, the movements that he did while he was back on the streets, they can't be overlooked, and they gotta be saluted. They gotta be celebrated. Maybe he'll find his way out of this jam, maybe he won't. But he will be remembered in his set and in the streets for what he's done for the city of LA, man. So Lil Doc from East Coast Crip, we gotta stand on business with that. No smut on his name, no snitching, no paperwork, no pointing niggas to the feds, none of that. Doing what you supposed to be doing as a G homie that signed up for this street life. And I know a lot of y'all be in the comments, I'm not gonna say a lot of y'all, some people be in the comment, this is stupid, and hey, sometimes you just gotta play the cards you was dealt. Some people grow up out of it, some people grow up within it. And like Lil Doc, he grew up within it, and he was set to make a change, and he did so. That's what we want to see from the G homies on this list, man. Now, the next G homie we got on the list, man, he's not going to be as old as some of the people we just touched on. Still in his 40s, man. But again, from his section, in his set, he is considered a G homie. Put on in 94. we got Pete Thrizzle, Baby Half Pint from Neighborhood Pyru.
I done took a couple losses, had to bounce back. Real nigga on the bricks, you can't change that. Never squeal, never talk, we don't do that. Real niggas know the code, we don't change that. How they fucked up the code, that shit brazy. Niggas talk more than hoes, I'm just saying. Gotta watch your best though, cause niggas will stick ya. If it's about money, your rollie will flip ya. I done seen it all on this concrete.
Now I said that because I know some of y'all motherfuckers gonna be like, he not a OG. Look, Pete Thrizzle is a G homie. This nigga been putting it down in Inglewood since the early 90s, man. And we know, like we said, y'all say that's the heyday. He been around since the early 90s with this shit. Now, if y'all know the rapper Half Ounce, Pete Thrizzle is Baby Half Pint from Neighborhood Pyru. Half Ounce is Tiny Half Pint from Neighborhood Pyru. So Pete Thrizzle was from NHP before Half Ounce was. Pete Thrizzle is somebody that has been in this limelight to the industry for a little bit, man, with his music and his face card. He said he the first Filipino gang member out of Inglewood, man. Now that says a lot, especially in the time that he came up in. Now Pete Thrizzle and his namesakes, man, are reputable active members from Neighborhood Pyru. Between them, Lil Half Pint is resting in peace. Tiny Half Pint is resting in peace. And Infant Half Pint is also resting in peace. And Pete Thrizzle has also been close to meeting the same demise as being a factor in the Inglewood streets, man. But the key thing we see with Pete Thrizzle, man, to see individuals from other descents be this much of a factor in their hood shows the level of respect that they get from their enemies and that they get from their homies. We see Pete Thrizzle is still a politicker in his neighborhood, man. And he has a lot of influence over his homies, man. They speak highly about Pete Thrizzle. And the thing is, like when we touched on the blood report card, go check it out. There's not a lot of blood representation. There's more Crip representation coming out of LA than it is B-Dog representation or P-Dog or Pyru representation that we have coming out of LA, putting their face card to the masses, being in the entertainment industry, being online, whatever you call it. But Pete Thrizzle has represented himself the right way, man. He's represented NHP the right way. And his activity, impact, and reputation is all top tier. That's why we got to give Pete Thrizzle an A. And him and his G homie G Half put it down correctly for Neighborhood Pyru. Now the next older homie we got on the list is going to be a dude that has kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. Rightfully so, too. We got Cowboy from Neighborhood Rolling 60 Crip.
You want to get high, okay, so I'll give you a dub so you can get high. Other than that, if you want something to eat, I'll get you one of these little Happy Meals for $3, $4, $5. So if you want to get high, I'll give you $20. And then that way you can get out of this McDonald's line, ruin everybody's appetite looking at you. You feel me? You feel me? So now you go get high, okay? That go $20. You go get high and get out of this line. If you're going to come back in this line and ask for some money, cover yourself up. Okay, so you good now. You got enough to get high. So go get high. Thank you. That shit crazy. Early in the morning, cuz.
Now, I done seen Cowboy hella times, man. Off Crenshaw and Slauson, in front of Woody's, selling T-shirts or doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I done seen him over there. And, you know, it's been some things said about Cowboy where he used to be a smoker, whatever the case is. I can see that. I ain't seen the nigga high or on no funny shit over there, but I can see he done probably did some things. You know what I'm saying? He done probably hit that thing a couple times, but he's still an older homie from over there. He was in his hood. And this was after the Nipsey murder. He was over there. But he's been on the end of some controversy. You know, he really rose to fame and really got a face on him after Nipsey died, where he kind of jumped in front of the shit, wanted to show his face, wanted to show himself as Nip's big homie, and kind of stamp it, you know. But we also seen him trying to so-called guide his homies in the right way. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He did it on camera, and we seen a nigga like spray painting or whatever. And, you know, he been speaking about how he don't want niggas crashing out for 60s that ain't really put in no work or ain't really made no enemies. You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so. That's the truth. But the thing is, what we seen from Cowboy was snitching. That's undeniable, man. He took the stand in Eric Holder's trial and pointed the finger at that man and said he was the nigga that did it. Now, I know people are going to ask, where's the line drawn between somebody that had lost somebody that they love or whatever and a gang member? I'm going to say this going to fall on the side of Cowboy snitching as a gang member. Reason being is because this was, in fact, a gang-related murder. Nipsey from Rolling 60s, Eric Holder from Rolling 60s, and Cowboys from Rolling 60s. Cowboy told on his homie from his hood. That shit should have never went down. It's on Cowboy to let the legal process turn his wheels. You know what I'm saying? We all know Eric Holder was going to be found guilty without Cowboy's confession or his finger pointing, telling, whatever. So it seemed like he kind of stepped out of bounds with that shit, man. And I'm going to just say that. It's telling. It's snitching. He can go in the same boat as Keefe D and Mob James for that shit. And with that being said, man, that's something that he can't lead his little homies on. When I seen him over there, on Slauson a couple times. He wasn't necessarily with no little homies and nothing like that. He was on his own shit. But I would say that situation has left all his influence null and void after that point, man. And it might have been that before the point as well, based on what niggas is saying about him being like a J-Cat, a smoker, whatever you have. But that's not what we want to see, man. And you know, this nigga be doing a lot of popping. He does a lot of popping it to niggas on the internet. But I would say the key difference between him and, you know, some other mark niggas that may not be allowed over in the 60s is he still be over there. But nonetheless, man, the snitching, man, you can't, it's no good. He's no good as well. He got an F as a big homie. You can't have no decent situation of niggas snitching. I don't know if he done told in the past. I think I done heard some shit like that too. But this ain't the time to be fucking up as a G homie. When you got little niggas again that's getting put on every day, especially in the 60s, they got niggas getting put on weekly. And this nigga be frontlining. He may be looking smokerish or whatever, but he's still outside and he will try to grab up some niggas and game them up. You can't get gamed up by no rat. It's as simple as that, man. The next G homie is also gonna be somebody from the 6-pack, East Coast Crip. He may be on the younger side for some of the older homies, but I'm gonna say at the position that he's in right now, still considered a G homie. We got Nina Boy, 6'9" neighborhood East Coast Crip.
Now I'ma show you how a real nigga eat. We turn down nothing, keep it crippin' in the streets. I'm on the block with the Glock, just me and my homies. Around here, niggas die before they turn 30. Hey, fuck the feds, cause I know them niggas still want me. And I die on the scene for my hood homies. See, I was laced by real G's and dope dealers and real killers. They get it crackin' on the east, nigga. Neighbors don't do favors, we ain't going for the peace, nigga. Back against the wall, I'm holding court up in the streets, nigga.
Now, Nina Boy, man, is somebody that's been in a position of influence for a good amount of time, man. Now, 6'9" East Coast is going to be the same hood Lil Doc Thone is from. The 6-pack is very active, man, a very reputable side of East Coast. Most of their sides are going to be still very active and reputable. But recently, man, we done see Nina Boy kind of bubble up, transition out of the street, so to speak, into the YouTube podcast world. But he still remains a factor in his hood to the day. Now, the thing about Nina Boy, man, he got a lot of game. He got a lot of wisdom to him. But one thing we have seen, he's one of the few people that have picked up the gloves. You know, this is what motherfuckers say they want to see. They want to see niggas put the fist up, put the guns down. Nina Boy, as an older homie, has done that when he fought Bosco. Regardless of what the outcome was, regardless of how niggas was saying both them niggas look like shit in the ring, fuck, whatever. Them niggas both got up out there and they did that. And it was also said by Nina Boy and by Spotterload that not only did Nina Boy catch them fades in the ring, but he also had to catch some fades in his hood for whatever transpired in the ring. And just right there, man, rewind when we talked about Wack and the overdue fades. Nina Boy's younger than Wack, And he still had to go back to his hood to catch his fade. And he did that. That's the example we want to see as the older homie. But like I said, we seen guide the young homies. That's business that just has to be taken care of. And Nina Boy is taking care of it. So that's where the influence comes in. Not only can he tell the little homie what to do, the little homie can see he's done the same thing. Set the example, the little homie can see that he put the guns down and caught his fade. Whether he really had a beef with Bosco or not, it was done. And just like a lot of the reputable members on this list, a lot of the G homies that's putting it down, it's only a certain few that's really fucking up. Nina Boy gonna get an A, man. Like we said, 6-pack East Coast and all the East Coast members, a lot of them is not playing, man. Real reputables coming out of that side. Now, next on the list, man, is gonna be a worldwide figure from LA. Technically out of Long Beach, man. Somebody who's been putting out Crippin' to the world for the last 30 years, man. We got Snoop Dogg. Eastside rolling 20 Crip.
Nigga move. Now this bitch nigga talking fast, got him on his knees crying, begging for a pass. I ain't got no time for no lovey-dovey shit. We at LAX on your ass, Carousel 6. All you see is blood niggas, essays and hella Crips. Don't you run now, nigga. You can't hide behind that bitch. You can't decide to take a trip to the West Coast. We don't fuck with bitch niggas talking.
Now, man, Snoop Dogg, it's just crazy to even say his name right now. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg has really been putting this shit down for a long time. There's been a lot of back and forth on Snoop Dogg being from 20s, Snoop Dogg being a Crip, period. We done seen Suge Knight say a few things about that, about how basically Snoop ain't from 20s, Snoop claiming different gangs, shit like that. But one thing, man, Snoop get love and respect in his hood. We done seen Snoop in this section politicking with homies.
Today is a picnic for the homeboy C-Dog, cuz. Ain't about nothing but the homeboy C-Dog being sent off the right way, cuz, the appropriate way. Me as a dub, I watch the hood and I watch how niggas don't get sent off the right way and how we don't really show no love until the niggas.
Now, is Snoop still in his hood? I don't think so. I'm sure there's a certain amount of homies that fuck with Snoop, but I don't think he's in his set like that. But the key thing, man, Snoop has worldwide influence, global influence, global impact. Activity, probably not, man. Like I said, Snoop's been doing music for the last 30 years. He's not a shooter. I don't even know if Snoop was catching fades for his hood. But one thing he has done is truly put on for his hood, put his hood on the map. And he's put Crippin' on the map. Before Lil Wayne and niggas made everybody Bloods, everybody was talking about being Crips. Let's not forget, Snoop was the one that was pioneering that shit. We done seen Snoop do so many things over the years. We done seen this nigga bring the Saints and the 20s together with the Eastsiders, Trady and Goldie. Fast forward today, we see him fucking with niggas all the way in San Bernardino from the Gardens, doggy style. This nigga Snoop is still representing this shit. And man, he's doing it the right way. He's a true OG of the game. He's been in the limelight for a long time. Went through a couple rebrands, but man, he's still been the same nigga this whole way. And man, one thing you see with Snoop when it comes to his Crippin' and representing this shit, just representing the city, period, man. Snoop does push peace. And he pushes unity from Long Beach, LA, Compton, Watts. He pushing it. With the Snoop Youth League, he doing this shit out here, man. And it's too many good things to say about how Snoop has represented the city. And he's influenced everybody on this list. I don't give a fuck who it is. Even in the glory days when niggas was fully banging on site with Bloods and Crips, Snoop has influenced everybody. And he's a well-respected, reputable member out of Long Beach. Now, where we see Snoop today, man, this dude, he on everybody's screen. He doing so many commercials. He doing this shit. And he still be with the blue rag. And this is somebody that everybody can say, man, had a good head on their shoulders with this gangbanging shit. Didn't fully crash out. Like I said, not saying Snoop was a super active member, but he's still good in his hood even till today. And you know what we got for the big homie, man? We got an A for Snoop Dogg representing Long Beach and the whole city, man, the whole state when it comes to this West Coast shit. Now, next on the list is also somebody that's gonna have a lot of rep on the east side of Long Beach. We got Big Trey D from Insane Crip Gang.
Thick in his lips, mentally sick, fuck a penitentiary stint. I'm addicted to inflicting pain and emptying clips, squeezing the grip till I leave a leak in the stiff. G till I rip and never sleep or slip when I dip. Straight out the dirt, putting in work.
Now, man, we was all introduced to Trey D back on the east side of days when he was linked with Goldie and Snoop. But Trey D has always been a G homie from his hood. He's been somebody that's always had a solid reputation, and he played a pivotal part in putting Long Beach on after Snoop, DPG, and all them. You know what I'm saying? Now, recently, man, we seen Trey D mixed up in the situation with DW Flame, where Flame was saying that as a G homie, he kind of fucked him up in the deal. And, you know, we seen Trey D respond like, man, DW didn't do his due diligence. And it's very apparent on how DW is crashing out now. That nigga not the sharpest knife in the drawer, man. We can see that Trey D more than likely gave that nigga more than enough opportunities as a G homie to put his foot in the door, get into the entertainment industry like he is now, and start making moves and rounds. And for that nigga to fall out with his big homie like that, I think that says more about DW Flame than it does with Trey D. Trey D is still a respected member from Insane, and he still put it down. And like I said, man, it seemed like he was trying to guide his young homie in the right way with influence. And niggas knew he had the activity to go along with that. So with that being said, his impact is there as well. Trey D's also gonna get an A for representing himself as a G homie the right way. Now the next G homie we got on the list is again gonna be a dude that's kind of on the younger side, man, of what most consider to be the older homies. But nonetheless, this is somebody that's been in the streets for a long time, been representing LA a long time, and he is a respected LA member, LA legend. We got Spotter Low from 9-7 Neighborhood East Coast Crip.
Hey, what you say, cuz? Hey, what you say?
You gotta see us before you see you.
I can't get the squabble? I'll go second, third.
No, boy, he got a hood issue.
He got what?
Hood issue.
Pull up, you got issues, Crip.
Cuz know the truth.
Nate Bud. I'm in your section though, cuz I'm in the 6th.
Right here.
Now, Spotter Loc was really introduced to the public in the earlier 2000s, man, when he came out with G-Unit. This was after the Game situation. You know, 50 Cent and G-Unit, they was just signing all kind of motherfuckers. They had Mobb Deep on there. You know, that whole little era. Spotter Loc had came out around that time. Now, Spotter Loc wasn't necessarily a fan favorite, man. I'm gonna keep it real. You know, a lot of people was kind of down on Spotter. I don't know why. I don't know if it was just some hood shit, his enemies hating on him and it just spread through the airways, but you know, his homies fuck with him. That's what it was. But overall, man, Spotter Loc still gets a lot of respect in the city, and rightfully so, man. He's a respected member of 9-7 East Coast. But I got two issues with Spotter as a G homie. Now, one issue is a little worse than the other, but let's touch on it. Spotter, recently, this is recent shit, man, when he was in the Imperial Course, man, and PJ Wise.
Uh-oh. Oh shit, I done get right here, got some weed. Look the shit I running to. Oh, this shit bust. Who is these niggas? I don't know them. Why they fighting in the hood? Never mind, let me shut up. Ooh, ooh.
Now, we seen Spotter pull up with his homie. Out of Spotter's mouth, he claimed to have a dirty gun. Why he said that, I don't know. To me, that was unnecessary to start his shit off with saying he had a burner on him that wasn't clean, or whatever the fuck it is. He said it. He said he wanted his homie to hold the thing for him while he was in the projects. The homie didn't want to hold the thing, so they got out. All right. Only thing is, the get down was horrible. The shit looked ugly. Spotter did not look good in this motherfucker. You know, they was on the floor and rolling around. This shit wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Again, we talking about the older homie here. We talking about somebody that's potentially leading his young homies, leading niggas that's fresh hitting the block. Possibly. You know what I'm saying? He's still banging East Coast. He's still politicking. So I would say this is rightfully said. He's still somebody that will have influence over young niggas hitting this set. And somebody that has influence in the gang culture, period. Now that he has a platform, an outlet to talk about and politic with the public. Now, that instance right there, I feel like Spider Loc was doing a little bit too much talking about having that thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we talking recent. We talking 2024. You know what I'm saying? You know, all right. The second thing, when Spider Loc got this little beef going with Whack 100, when he was talking about a nigga pouring gasoline at his crib, when he was with Munchie B, they was slipped it off the drink. He said, again, he busted his pistol in the air on some drunk shit.
I had just did some New Year's Eve drunk shit, unloaded my gun in the air.
Right.
So I had an empty gun.
Okay.
We kicking it, 30, 45 minutes later, I hear some scuffling outside the door. I open the door, there's a person right there pouring some gas and run away. God saved their life, saved me from doing a little bit of time, because it would have been a dead motherfucker out in front of my door. 20, 30 minutes later.
Nigga, why the fuck are you in public talking about busting a fucking gun? No, nigga, no. I don't give a fuck if it was in the air. We all know what go up must come down. Come on, G homie. I got respect for Spider Loc. But, man, this is what I was saying. With a lot of niggas that's in the limelight right now, from No Jumper to maybe even Street TV, a lot of podcasts, niggas is on that drink when the cameras turn on. We gotta be mindful of what we saying, man. These is cameras. We all see this shit. And it's not just us watching it. That's all I'm gonna say. You can't be talking about busting a gun. You can't be talking about having a gun. That ain't right. You know, especially, I'm sure niggas ain't got records. All that shit as the G homie. We see these young niggas doing it, they on camera, doing all whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's all cool. But again, we talking about older homies right here that's representing, especially being a member of East Coast. That shit gotta be played a certain way. But talking about busting a gun in the air, G homie, that shit just not a good look for the youth looking up to you. You know what I'm saying? Let these young niggas that's crashing out and still putting in work and making a name for themselves and walking the main line and doing everything that is needed to be done to be a factor in their hood. Let them niggas do that. You did that. Now it's time to, you know, hey, transition and shit. It ain't really much to do. You doing it. You doing your shit, Spider. But it's about, okay, are you on a drink talking too much on a podcast? All the shit is fine, but everything ain't got to be said. With that, we got to give Spider Loc a C. Other than that, there's not too much smut on Spider's name. We ain't got no paperwork, no weird shit. He's still good in his hood. Through all the East Coast hoods. He's still politicking, and he's still a respectable member, man. But we got to give Spider Loc a C for these recent comments he making about this shit, man. I know you will understand, my nigga. And I'm not smutting niggas out. Hey, niggas know when I smut them out. Niggas know when I'm on a nigga head. It's not that. I'm just saying what it is. You know what I'm saying? Now, next up on the list, man, we got to touch on some people that have recently passed. That is for sure factors and will forever be immortalized in the city and in their sets, man. To start it off, we got Lil Sodi, A-Tray Gangsta Crip. Rest in peace.
Went flat, fast. I remember when the box it was buzzing in. Seeing my uncle and Ice Cube in that new Benz. Watching E40 and Too Short first lock in. Watching Biggie Smalls bring that big nigga swag in. LA. See, they love us, then they hate us. When you're down bad, they'll hate you like a Laker. When your money up, they'll find a way to hate you. When you overshine hate, then the haters gon' praise you. Love you, then they hate you. Love you, then they hate you. Yes, sir.
Now, man, Lil Sodi. Age-wise, yes, you know what I'm saying? He's not the oldest homie. You know what I'm saying? He's not the super OG homie from over there, from A-Tray. But we got to show the respect to Lil Sodi, man. He was a factor. Not only did he help start the back west of A-Tray Gangsta, but he had heavy influence, heavy politicking in his hood.
They don't never let us hang out, cuz. Fuck the police, cuz. I'm sick. We always trying to come shut something down, cuz. Set, bring the chain. The mascot outside. I'm the face of this shit. I'm the baby. When they say the baby OG, I'm the baby OG. Yeah, I really was doing it. Shit.
He was somebody that had a true voice and was truly respected in the A-Tray gangster hood. And in LA, period, man. Even when Nipsey died, niggas respected what Lil Sodi had to say. Not only did he stand on business, but he also pushing peace where peace needed to be pushed. You know, that early 2000 era of gangbanging, man, was not a joke. Lil Sodi, a true frontline member. Even up to his untimely passing, Lil Sodi still frontline member. And man, everything that he stood on and represented, especially when that camera turned on, everything he stood on was straight business. It was no fluttering in Lil Sodi. His bloodline run deep in the A-Tray gangsters. And this is somebody who is definitely missed in the city of LA. His hood miss him. And the A-Tray gangsters, man, they not for play. This nigga from a reputable set. It's just tragic how he went out. The impact, activity, reputation, all solid, top tier shit from Lil Sodi. Rest in peace again, Lil Sodi got an A. He's somebody that represented the city and these gang politics in the best way possible. Another member that we got to touch on that's no longer here. This is also a factor. A true G homie from his set. We got S-Bone, neighborhood rolling 40 Crip.
No, he's not even a gangbanger or gang member or none of that. He's just somebody that's lived in an area. Okay. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Got opportunities to live a good life. Travel the world, experience women, eat good food. And you want to try to go backwards and come and be in the streets? That don't make no sense. But we gonna do that. We gonna get in the streets with it.
Now S-Bone was just starting to find his feet with this internet shit, presenting himself on YouTube, doing this shit, man. He had a lot of good stories to share, but nonetheless, he was a factor in his set, had a lot of influence. And the thing is, man, even surrounding his death, niggas said it was a flock. S-Bone was active, putting in work to the end. Now, it's sad to say, you know, the events that surrounded that is extremely tragic. But S-Bone is also somebody that was well respected and somebody that's going to be missed in his section and across LA, man. Now, another thing about S-Bone, he was also critical about the relations between the 40s and the 60s. You know, he was an outspoken member, but we also did see S-Bone guide his little homies in the right way. Speaking on how to properly DP niggas, how to properly represent the 40s. And man, we done been to the 40s multiple times with dudes like S-Bone Lil Homies, Fo Extra, X-Fo. You know, the 40s have a solid, tight-knit group. They're extremely active, especially right now. They're extremely active, and they have solid representation coming out they set. S-Bone was somebody that was a true leader over there in the 40s. He had some great influence, like I said, activity until the day he passed. And with that, we got to give S-Bone the impact as well. He had it in a set for the 40s. But nonetheless, you know what we got for S-Bone, man. We got an A. Rest in peace to S-Bone. And another member that we lost, man. I mean, you know, this is somebody that the city went crazy for, man. The whole world has went crazy for him. They say he like the second coming of Tupac for the city. We got neighborhood Nip Hussle, neighborhood rolling 60 Crip.
You know, the culture of my area is the gang culture, you know what I'm saying? So by being outside, being involved with hustling, being in the hood, doing things to try and get money, being young, you know, riding your bike through the hood, getting shot at, yo loved ones and homies that's your age, getting killed, getting shot at, you know, getting jumped at malls and at basketball, football games, high school games, whatever. You know what I mean? Getting into it, it's like, we were just raised like, if you with me and something go down, I'm in it. Whether I'm from this shit or not, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, it just be like you always in the middle of some shit, you might as well, you know what I mean?
Be part of it.
Be part of it.
Official.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or don't be part of it and get the fuck out the way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Either one.
Now, Nipsey was a true innovator for the city, man. When Hussle in the House, man, hit the streets, man, that shit was something else. The nigga rocked the city with that shit. From that, all the way to the innovation of how he pushed the mixtape to an album, that and how he displayed his business acumen with his approach to how he marketed and released his music, man. Like I said, a true innovator for the city. But not only that, Nipsey was a true representative of neighborhood Rolling 60 Crip, to the point where he bought everybody out. He bought his enemies out. He bought Inglewood to the 60s. He bought the A-Trays to the 60s. I'm sure it was some Hoovers that paid their respects to the 60s because of the impact that Nipsey had. And on all these lists, he's probably the most impactful. Now, they say that's what happens when you pass, but I think that's a true testament to how you was living. He was living such a way that represented himself in the set to the fullest. And we see the type of respect that he's got throughout the city now that he's no longer here. He didn't put the Slauson boys on. You know, he fell out with Big U over the little situations that they had, whatever. But man, Nipsey was still good in his hood. He was killed in his hood. This is a nigga that had true knowledge and game for the little homies that was coming up after him. He was a nigga that was gonna put a lot of people on in his section. What he was doing, a lot of motherfuckers was gonna eat in that section.
I mean, I didn't work with The Game. I didn't work with Snoop Dogg. Both of them gonna be on my album. I didn't work with Spider Lope. I didn't work with J-Rock. Me and G Malone still gotta get in and knock something out. That's my nigga. Like I said before, 211, I fuck with his music. His shit Hardy from Inglewood. He Paru. And you know, I wanna connect and do some music with him for the political reasons why we should do it, and just because the nigga hot, the nigga shit sound hard. And other than that, I fuck with anybody that's an authentic LA dude, or you just a West Side dude in general, like a West Coast nigga. Like, if you from the streets, if you ain't from the streets, if you just a real nigga, you got some hot music, let's get it. I got an open lane. Feel me?
And he was a true influence for all the hoods around the city, not just the Crips, not just the neighborhoods. We see the Game fuck with him. YG fuck with him. The whole city was behind Nipsey Hussle. And you know, even his enemies gonna say, when I said everybody watching this video, man, we all was proud on how he represented the city, man. And that's what the fuck we want to see from niggas that's in that position. Niggas that's in a position to influence somebody. Lead the youth. That's what we looking for. That's why Nipsey Hussle gonna stand on that A as well. Rest in peace to all the G homies that was doing it the right way. Now next up, we got Kev Mac, neighborhood Rolling 60 Crip.
And we end up squashing that, you know what I'm saying? You had a few feelings hurt on both sides. So you got dudes from different parts of the hood mad at dudes from the same part of the hood and different parts of the hood, and just another day in the 60s, man. So
now for all y'all that watched that Blood report card that we did, we shouted out Alex Alonso for being a pioneer of this this YouTube shit with documenting the street gangs. Kev Mac is also going to be somebody that has turned the camera on for this street gang shit. Now, back in the day, Kev Mac did turn that camera on, man. He was documenting a lot of the neighborhood Crips and a lot of people from LA back in the day. He also had that All Hood magazine. Kev Mac is definitely a reputable member from neighborhood 60s. We seen him with Big U. We seen him politicking with the big homies. He's officially an OG from that set. And we've also heard about Kev Mac putting in work, doing time, and standing on business in his set. But Kev Mac is also somebody that gets a shout out just like Alex Alonso, man, for putting it down for the city of LA and creating a way for niggas like me on this channel and other motherfuckers that's doing it right. Again, doing it right on YouTube and shining the light on this street shit to the masses, man. Kev Mac got an A. He been putting it down for a long time, and he a real OG from neighborhood 60s. Next up on the list, we got G-Hab, Inglewood neighborhood Paru.
Hey, homie, all my homegirls and homies that live this life, this reckless lifestyle, homie, we been there, homie. We know what the mental states of this shit can send you. We know what a baby mama drama can send you. They young and they go through all kind of ass shit, homie. But we tell them, homie, as older homegirls and homie, we tell our kids, homie, we done smoked drugs, did experience and all kind of shit. Only the strong can survive out this shit, homie. So when a nigga doing kind of shit, funny shit, we gonna call it like we call it, homie. That's how we come up clean cut on this gangster shit, homie.
Now, G-Half, we spoke on him briefly when we touched on Pete Thrizzle. G-Half is going to be Pete Thrizzle, big homeboy, and Half Ounce, big homie. G-Half is somebody that's been extremely instrumental in the Inglewood neighborhood Pyru section. And somebody that's been instrumental in Inglewood, period. We heard of him getting up with B Brazy, Big Hawk, Lil Hawk from Crenshaw Mafia. And of course, in his own backyard, Taco, Rucci Dad, Dulo from Neighborhood Pyru. So many names that are factors in Inglewood. G-Half is right next to. But the thing about G-Half, man, G-Half tells the truth about his antics and where things lie in the streets for him back when he was full-fledged banging that NHP. Now, again, as you can see by G-Half little homies, the Halves are very active. G-Half, not to be spared, he was an extremely active OG member from NHP. And as a blood and a Pyru, he's really stood on that foundation and on the standards of his upbringing. And it's clear to see, even now the homie is on YouTube. Check out his channel, 8-9 on up. He's dropping a lot of game on that channel, man. And it's dope to see him transition from all them years of banging to now being a factor on YouTube. But G-Half is also somebody that's gonna have a high grade. He gonna get an A, Inglewood NHP. Now, next on the list, we got somebody that is extremely instrumental in the interventions that go on between the gangs in LA, man. We got Skip Townsend, Rolling 20 Neighborhood Bloods, man.
Right. It seems like today, though, they're
50.
It's extended, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't designed to be that way. If you look back at Raymond Washington, if you look back at Tookie, you look back at Puddin', Tam, Baba Louie, all the dudes who, were credited with starting this, they were children. They were 13, 14 years old. So why at the age of 35 or 40 would I be following in the direction that was laid out for me by a 13-year-old?
Now, like I said, Skip Townsend seems to have his hand in everything when we talk about gang intervention. He's the first name that we think of in LA who's putting older homies in position, it seemed like, to be positive role models for their set. Now, Skip Townsend was and is an active member of Rolling 20s, but now he's active in a different way, which again is extremely positive for the city. Not only do we see Skip at all the funerals, we see him at the shootings, we see his feet on the street, getting straight down to business when it comes down to being a voice and a face that represents this street shit to different people in Los Angeles, man. We just want to do a brief salute to Skip Townsend, man. He really be doing this shit, and his movement is going to keep growing and getting bigger in the streets, man. And Skip Townsend, man, everybody that's in our comments that want to see intervention, that want to see certain things stop in these neighborhoods across the city and potentially outside of California, y'all go check out Skip Townsend page. Y'all check out his movement, check out what he's doing for the city, man. Skip Townsend with an A for putting it down as a big homie from his set, man. And last on the list, man, we're going to touch on another dude that we already spoke about when we talked about Mob James. We got FG from Cross Atlantic Pyru.
We get back to the sales and shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, Drew, what's up? He like, blood. It's Mob James, homie. You know what I mean? I don't trip.
Now, FG, since he got off the pen, linked up with Alex Alonso, he spread word on Mob James being a rap, man, which was pivotal because Mob James was starting to do his rounds on the internet, pleading his case and telling his death row glory days and shit. FG put a stop to all of that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said in that Mob James shit, I got some people that fuck with FG people, and FG is a solid dude from Cross Atlantic. As you can see, he was snitched on in this case, didn't do no telling, stood on business, did his time, came home, and now he back pushing positivity and peace to the streets like a big homie should. We see him linking up with a lot of different dudes from Compton, a lot of different dudes from around the city, period. And like I said, man, FG is not on the bullshit. He not playing games. He served his time and was solid about it. And man, we touched on Cross Atlantic, man. Y'all want to know more about Cross Atlantic, Ludus Park, and some more of the Pyrus on that side of Compton, man. Y'all go check out our East Side Compton video. His hood also going to be close to Linwood. We coming with the Linwood video as well. But if y'all want to hear more about his block, check out our East Side Compton video, man. But FG overall, He gonna get an A as well, man, for putting it down like a real G homie in the streets, standing on business, not tucking his tail. Even when somebody told on him, he didn't fold. He back in the streets doing this shit, pushing positivity. A for FG, man. Now, the whole thing about this shit, man, we wanted to put in Bloods, Crips, and Pyrus on this. Older homies that's representing the shit most of the way right. You know, like I said, we got a couple niggas that's fucking the game up as older homies representing the streets for young niggas that, man, shit, a lot of niggas say, sadly enough, is going to gravitate toward this street shit. But man, that's just the cycle. That's just what it is. It's inevitable. But check us out, man. We got more shit to come. We got more niggas representing the city, Bloods, Crips, and Pyrus that we gonna be dropping grades on and how they been moving around the streets, whether these niggas got paperwork or whether they stood on business and they set. Y'all follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. We still on the road to 100K on YouTube, man. Y'all get up with us, like, comment, and subscribe to this shit, man. Rap News Street Politics.